Hi, I'm Nancy Forrester, the founder and the executive director of the National Emotional Freedom Techniques Training Institute. And I'm very pleased to be presenting a 3-hour webinar about emotional freedom techniques, tapping. And I really encourage you to come and join us regardless of the level of knowledge or experience that you have with EFT tapping. I think you'll really get some value and also some enjoyment out of this webinar. So I have been tapping for many years. I attended my first training back in the late 90s, just as EFT was being offered to the world. I thought it was weird, very strange, not quite sure why I got invited to this workshop, but I did, and I had a really profound experience of compassion and connection with my mother. And my mother had been passed on for many, many years at this point, and we had not had a very close emotional connection, quite the opposite. And so this really got my notice that this kind of weird looking, silly technique actually supported the feeling of this connection. And that was something that I hadn't experienced in all my training as a psychotherapist. It wasn't part of the kind of cognitive behavioral work that I was doing. And so it really captured my attention. I remember thinking, like, this is the missing link that I've been really looking for. And I didn't really understand it much back then in the day, but I understand today how emotional freedom techniques brings us an overarching way to hold a container for the cognitive work, for the emotional work, for the somatic work, for the imagery kind of work, and for behavior. That since we know now everything is energy, that working with emotional freedom techniques and energy psychology gives us a way to integrate all of those for an individual's nervous system. So in the workshop, I'll share a little bit of the Cinderella story of emotional freedom techniques, how it got to be the place of credibility that it occupies today. I'll share some of the mechanisms, and then we'll get right into the protocol. And I'll teach you the protocol, I'll teach you some variations of it for self-regulation, and then I'll share some demonstrations of how we can actually begin to use EFT as an emotional first aid strategy when the nervous system is way, way overactivated and just needs to find safety in a hurry. And also then how we can use it for trauma resolution, which leads to a natural unfolding of post-trauma growth. So you'll be able to leave the workshop with this technique at your fingertips and to start to practice on your own and with family and friends. And then when you're comfortable, bring it into your practices. So that's November the 3rd. I really look forward to having you there, joining us, and take care until then. And bye for now.